Oh man, it's time to do this Blizzaria video. I'm one off getting this maxed out, and I should purple star her. I wonder what would happen if I just made her a tier 6 automatically. What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cash, and it is time once again to go over the beautiful, luxurious, weird, big-eyed chick, Blizzaria. So, as you guys know, she is the Advent character. She is what most people probably have 16,000 copies of, or have really bad luck and only have one. But if you are like me and I'm almost done maxing your skills out, it's very important to see why I probably went 6-6, and then I'm gonna do the alt last. So let's go into the leader skill, and it's gonna be going off with boop, friends together. Increases damage dealt to enemies at an elemental disadvantage by 30%. Obviously, this makes it, if you bring her in, even if she, even if it's not a fire-based dungeon, right? But if you were fighting anything of the sort, it's really good to have her in there because she's gonna help you do additional damage when the elements in your favor. So next up is her passive skill becomes immune to freezing, which is very irrelevant in most cases, but yes, you can bring her in there to counter that. Bell meta, 40% chance to freeze a target for one turn when attacking. So she has a 40% chance to freeze when she attacks, which is on her S1 and S3. Next up, her full investment passive is going to be Nullify, 100% chance to amplify all enemies elemental disadvantage by 40%, which is attached together, which means anything. Let me just kidding. For one turn, all attacks become critical strikes if the target is a fire element. Now, I can't wait till Nina comes back around so I can really test out this character in Nina's dungeon and really get to see like how much DPS she can really get down with, because of the fact she'll always crit. So I can actually run her as a crit damage, and she'll always crit the fire targets. I know not everything in Nina's dungeon is fire, but she'll definitely mess her up. And if I put down the debuffs, which we'll see here, these debuffs, these lovely debuffs here, and then at the very least we will see beautiful things, right? All my other characters that are elemental advantage will deal more DPS and possibly get the dungeon done faster. So let's go on to the skills. Stay Frosty inflicts penetration damage equal to 100% of the attack to one target, 30% chance to amplify the target's elemental disadvantage by 10% for one turn. Obviously, this is a debuff, and more important that this is a debuff is one of the reasons why I want to use it in Nina. A lot of the things in Nina's dungeon, and in a lot of things, any dungeon, they're immune to abnormal statuses. They can't be taunted, which is super annoying. Same thing in Kali's dungeon. Those things cannot be taunted or anything of that nature, but you can put dots on them, and you can put these lovely, the third tier of debuffs, I like to call them, that are just debuffs, and they will land as long as you have enough chance to put them on. As you can see here, as an Advent unit, you have to keep in mind that it's very likely that this will be 6 stars. So boom, 60% chance to drop it on S1. Makes you want to scream some multi-strike in there, just because of how effective it is to put these on as many characters and take advantage of it as much as possible. Also, when I read this, 100% chance to amplify all enemies, for one turn. I'll have to test that. I'll test that out later, actually. It'll make more sense if I just test it. Next up is her S2, which is Snowplay. Grants strike preparation to an ally and 2 adjacent allies for one turn. Increases multi-strike chance by 10% for one turn. So you get the auto crit. So she automatically critted on fire, but then she gives auto crit, and she gives you a multi-strike buff. And as you can see, this one gets better, but hallelujah, when you actually get it to level 6, the multi-strike actually increases for one more turn duration if it's a water target. So with her water homie, she gives blessings. So every other target will get 1, but if it's a water, they will get 2 turns of multi-strike. Really good. It's on a relatively low cooldown. Obviously, that's what makes it so good, and pretty much giving anyone free crit is amazing. It's one of the best things to give. It's obviously better than just giving crit chance, but crit strike preparation does work on multi-strikes. If you guys don't know, the next attack is guaranteed to land. If you were to multi-strike, both of the attacks will be crits, so that's why it's, you know, really good to have that. But it does go away after the crit strike is landed. Last but not least, Shiny Snow Drifts inflicts penetration damage equal to 180% to attack to one target and adjacent. So just like the S2 is a cone for the homies, this is the S2. This is the S3 cone for the enemies. And as you can see here, nothing too crazy happens until we reach level 6. If the target element is fire, they will take initial damage that is ignore defense. So she hates fire. She hates it. I respect it. Sometimes I hate. And to be fair, there's a lot of decent fire characters in the meta, and there always kind of will be. There's always some good fire laying around. She would have been great when Rue was all the rage, you know, when the game first came out. She's still pretty good. I think one of the best things you have to think about is that in this game, in Knights Chronicles, you guys might be unfamiliar with, is that the chance to land a debuff has nothing to do with element. So I can literally hit a win target with her, and it won't lower the chance of me actually landing this. The only thing that happens is that you take less damage. So it's really... I didn't need you to talk. You just scared the crap out of me. But it's really good to just have a debuff this strong to be putting out. So yes, if you're going against her wind type, you can hit her with the S1, put this debuff on them, and then of course, then your fire characters in there will probably be able to snipe that wind character a lot more easily. And since she is hybrid, her base stats will be a little bit higher than the squishy squish of an attacker. So let's go to that. So here are our base stats. If you look, the HP and defense is the same as every other SSR hybrid. The most important thing to note here is the attack speed. As I always say, the only difference is going to be the attack speed. Also, the attack is going to be the same too. Attack, HP, and defense is the same across the roll. So hybrid SSR attackers are going to have attack 3182, HP 8592, and defense is 1192. So that's the base stats, but the attack speed here, which is the differentiator, the deal breaker, is 558, which is round about in the middle. She's not gonna necessarily go first unless you really try hard for her to do that, but she won't be going last either. So that's just a good thing to keep in mind. Obviously, you want her to go drop that S1 or go first and drop the S2. You know, so then every other sequential turn after that will be S1, S1. The S3, I feel like, is not really usable. Not that it's not usable, but you know, this is cute, you know, but if she's your DPS, you really don't care about this, right? If you're building her DPS, then maybe you want to like drop the S3 in the beginning of the fight and kill them all, but most of the time you're going to probably lead with the S2, help out the homies. That's why it will be good to have her fast, and then she'll S1 spam and put elemental disadvantage everywhere. And then, you know, obviously if it's fire, she'll do more damage to them anyway, so she doesn't, you know, she's all about killing fire. Ice chick, killing fire, whatever, but she's water, which is like the Pokemon weakness. Whatever, let's go to the gear. Now, I want to bring up the Unity set just because of how she synergizes, and she will actually like do really good against fire. So I do actually want to test myself. I will be testing this out myself, and I do want to see how crazy she might get when I put her into a full water comp and see if she can actually take out Nina's dungeon with being in a full water comp and having Tarkus in there, and how much DPS it might lead to. They might be able to snipe her out fairly well, I'd hope. But we'll see about that. But I do want to bring it up since she does synergize with water, having a bunch of water in the comp. I do want to bring up the Unity set as an option. Multi-strike bonus and obviously the regular multi-strike are going to be pretty good for you. She does buff multi-strike herself for 2 turns. And if you want to give her a little bit more boost into that, 30 plus whatever amount that you want to give them is going to be a pretty good option as well. As I mentioned before, if you are trying to go with some type of comp more focused possibly on PvP, I would say yes, maybe you want to get agility so you can give out, not really, the multi-strike is good, right? Doesn't matter, but the strike preparation to the friends is actually pretty good. Now, I don't know how her base speed compares to Cheshire, who does the same exact thing. Very similar thing, but not the same exact thing. Let me double check actually. So this is Cheshire, just to prove this is Cheshire. Her base speed is actually 538, so she is faster. She is base speed faster than Cheshire. The old school comp, this was, if you guys didn't know, the old school comp was you had her going there. She dropped the S2, very similar. She has the strike preparation and a cone, same thing. Same exact thing. It's just written more weirdly because she's an older character. And she would drop it in a cone. Those characters would be Vila Phantasm, so that it's hard for them to get hit the next turn. They got Strike Preparation, and then she had a chance to curse, really helping her with this whole the dark AoE cleave. That's kind of what she was part of. Now with Blizzaria, she has 558, so she's a little bit quicker, so she can actually relatively get there, actually get to that first turn if you want to speed her up for that purpose of doing that. So in that regard, that's where I think the Rune of Agility would come in. You're trying to get that first turn. S2, some type of AoE or some type of setup, whatever you're trying to do, and then those characters will then, not only will they crit damage, they most likely will actually multi-strike on top of that. So really cool little combo you can do if you think you can get the speed. She's 558, she's gonna outspeed other people. She's definitely not outspeeding someone like Ruby. She's also not outspeeding Hover, who had like the 599. I think he was just as fast. So you got to keep in mind who you're gonna outspeed and who you're not gonna outspeed, but those people might not be on agility, so you might outspeed them anyway. So hey, you know, that's the tech. There it is, the multi-strike rune set. So like I said, if you want to help out with that, the S3 into the S1, constantly keeping the elemental disadvantage, I do think it's a good thing, but I do think the other options are better. But sometimes you might just be like, well, I have some pretty good multi-strike, maybe I should go multi-strike, and I have to say, hey, you know, it's not that bad on her. This is for the true OGs. If you are a G, this is the tech. As we saw, when she hits fire, she crits. And I, of course, always say, well, if something has auto crit capability, then we gotta go crit damage, because it's very rare that you get to guarantee crits. So me personally, I will be pretty much running her on this, if not the Unity set, because they're both weird sets that you don't really get to run that often. And I would love to see how much damage she outputs, especially with her S1 on there, and just see how much DPS she can really put out. I think it'll be really fun to see. Good old Rage ain't never hurt nobody. Classic Rage set, put it on if you want her to do DPS. She is a hybrid, so you can say, hey, I don't want her to do DPS, I want her to survive, and just spam S2s as much as she can and just put on that debuff on the S1. That's very viable. In that case, you're going to be looking at the life set, and of course you're going to be looking at all the way at the bottom, always at the bottom, the protection set, just to kind of like have her survive. There's nothing wrong with hybrids are always kind of mixed in between. Nothing wrong with having her survive. If you really value the S1 debuff, she will be putting it on, and if you keep her in the cone of which she's going to be fighting, then you can actually make sure that she is going to be the one receiving the multi-strike buff, and then keep that on there. So that's an option too. But that's all the rune options that I could personally think of outside of the weird trigger ones. You know, those weird, yeah, put her on resolve, like, yeah, whatever, you know, that's all, you know, subjective, objective, objection, whatever you guys want to put down. But those are pretty much, I think, some of the basic options for her. Here are the hero talents. I had to do a couple for the Knights thing. Obviously I have the 6-star tier thing. I didn't actually use it on her. I hope you guys didn't think I was going to use it on her. I'd rather just grind for it. I don't know who I'm going to use that thing for, but it's not going to be her, because I don't know how much I want to invest in her. But if she's a god Nina, I'll absolutely use it. But here we go. This is going to be this thing. Do you want her the S3 and hide? Do you want the crit check chance? Or do you want the crit damage? Obviously, you're not going to go this if you're going to be primarily using her against fire units. And obviously, like I said, I'm going to pretty much be using her in the dungeon. So my suggestion is going to be slightly different. I do think crit chance is slightly better here, because she does get multi-strike. That's a lot of damage, but I will be going crit strike damage. I want her to be going against fire target and then just blowing them up. So that's pretty much why I'll be going crit strike damage here. Next up is going to be the attack here, or attack elemental damage, and then of course we have the lovely S2, and you will poison a target. So for fun, since she is this, I actually will be trying this out myself. But if we're going standard, you should pretty much go this as the basis of everything. If it's an attack oriented unit, you go the attack. This one again only works if you are hitting someone where you have an elemental advantage over. So that's why attack is always better. So guys, please don't go this. I'm gonna go it because I want to be cheeky, but this is always better, pretty much 100% of the time, because if it's not fire, you will not have this 15% attack increase, which is better than, oh, they're fire, I'm doing more damage. So just keep that in mind. Once again, this is the whole little situation when it comes down to, hey, do you want to do less damage in arena, or are you going to use them in boss battles, or are you going to use this for some reason? She does multi-striking, so shock is not the worst thing in the world. It's one of the cooler things about hybrids that they have this, because when shock gets removed, it does stun. But I'm going to go with the bosses because I plan on using her in Nina. If you plan on using her in arena, then get the arena passive, hero talent passive thing. And here we go. Fortified armor. regular defense, and then of course the I don't want fire people to touch me at all defense. Even though I want to test out the attack version of this, I don't want to take the defense version of it because it just seems really weird. The defense one, I don't remember how it works. I think that it works like if you get hit by, if she was to get hit by wind, you would take less damage from it. So I think that that's how it works. I'm not 100% certain. Again, it's better to just get this overall, because even if I go by Nina's dungeon, there are obviously way more than wind characters. Ruby might be there. I could also just use Ruby and then Ruby won't be there. So all that being considered, I think defense is just better. This one again has to do with when you get attacked, and she's not tanking anything. She's not meant to tank. So yeah, this is, I think, the best. Of course, here we go. Increase damage dealt in arena, increase damage dealt in the bosses, depends on where you want to use them. And then we have this always cheeky, if you're getting hit, you can reduce cooldowns. This is more used for support-esque kind of characters that can sit there and take a bunch of punishment, and then this might trigger as they're tanking. So she's not like, again, you can build her tanky, but I just don't think that that's necessarily what most people are going to do with her. So just keep that in mind. I would probably go with one of these extra DPS on where you're going to be using her, and then of course the 60 passive right there. Why do I keep forgetting that Nikita is a dungeon? But I can do Nikita, that's probably why. Nina's the dungeon that I can't do. Alright, we're just going to test this out in the gold dungeon real quick. What I'm trying to see is how this is worded. So I know that the S1 puts the elemental disadvantage, but they also put it here, 100% chance to amplify all enemies in for 1 turn. I'm assuming what this means is that it's at the beginning of the wave, but they just did not write it in. So let's test that real quick. There we go. That was easy. So yes, it does work like that. So that's how that passive works. It's just written incorrectly. It didn't say it in the beginning of the wave like it normally does. So pretty much at the beginning of the wave, she's gonna help you DPS all the units, which is really good. Then here, if they're all fire, you just, well, I forgot her thing's not AoE. Easy cakes. But now we can just, since we're here, we can look at her lovely skills. The S1, as you can see, is a quick rapid fire fireball. I guess I can't call it a fireball because it's an ice ball. And that's her buff, that she can't be frozen. So nice little, like, it has a little thing. This is the S2. Very quick, she just spins and she's shining. She stopped, she don't want to get hit anymore. And there we go. She didn't multi-strike because she has no runes. So it's gonna take her a while to even like get up to that point. Boom. Still not multi-strike. She's hacked, guys. Don't get her. Okay, here we go. This is how we pray for the multi-strike. We're gonna end the video off in style. In style. Okay? She's gonna S3. We're gonna show the animation, right? And then she's gonna multi-strike, kill the target, and then we're gonna end the video. Blizzaria, please. Don't make me look like a fool. It's happened before. But I have faith in you. This, you know what? This is how you get the tier 6 ticket. This is how you get it, girl. You have to multi-strike here. Woo! Icy. Throw the ice. Boom. You didn't multi-strike. That's how you get on the bench. Just kidding. But of course, that is it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, especially I hope you enjoy the intro. Hope you enjoyed this outro as well. And here at the casino, it is always your lucky day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.